Odyssey is just a couple of weeks away, so before then, I want to give you my thoughts on every single Christopher Nolan film. Today, Insomnia. Hello everybody, my name is Jesse and welcome to my channel, and this is my third review in the series where I'm going through all 12 Christopher Nolan films before the Odyssey. Check out my other Christopher Nolan reviews in the description. Insomnia has always been an interesting movie in Nolan's filmography for me because this is the only movie that was not written or at least co-written by him. I can't remember who the writer was, but it was not written or co-written by Christopher Nolan himself. It is only directed by him. And I think because of that, this really feels kind of like the black sheep of Christopher Nolan's filmography. It's the one that's kind of forgotten about the most. It's certainly one of the more forgettable movies, and I would say it's one of his weaker films. I don't think Nolan has ever made a bad movie, so even when I say it's one of his weaker ones, it's still not even a negative. I really enjoy this movie when I do go back to it. It is interesting because this does feel very much like a story that Christopher Nolan would come up with. And maybe he did have something to do with the story process. I'm not entirely sure. But the way that it plays with time, being in a place where the sun never sets. And so this detective is constantly, he constantly forgets like what time it is. By the time he gets to the third or fourth day of being in this area, he is kind of just completely losing it mentally and emotionally. And he's really he's tired by the end of this film, and for very good reason. But the way it plays with time in that sense feels extremely Christopher Nolan. Performances across the board are really good. Al Pacino just does a great job in these police detective roles, and it is always fantastic to see Robin Williams in a more dramatic and serious role. Robin Williams is one of my favorite actors. I miss him every single day. So anytime I rewatch one of his movies or I see him in a new movie, it's an absolute joy. Mystery detective thrillers like this are exactly right up my alley. It's a genre that I've always been a huge fan of in both movies and books. But I do think because it wasn't written by him, the film itself is just kind of missing the classic Nolan touch. It doesn't do like the nonlinear structure like that. The editing and pacing of it all is pretty straightforward. It may very well be my least favorite film in Nolan's filmography, but I still have a great time when I go back to it. What are your thoughts on this film? Let me know down in the comments below. That's about all I have for you in this review. Check out my other Christopher Nolan reviews in the description, and stay tuned for the rest of my Christopher Nolan reviews. Until then, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching movies.